Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel once again. So I'll be explaining my experience and give like a general idea what happens on day 2 for Meps. So basically what happens is you wake up around 4 and you had to be downstairs by a certain time. I don't exactly remember the time you're supposed to be downstairs by, but so I woke up a little bit earlier than I wanted to because I wasn't able to get much sleep and my body wasn't able to relax. So I was able to get the sleep I needed. So I ended up staying awake until my alarm was supposed to go off. I turned it off when I woke up because I had my alarm set at 3:30, so I was able to get ready before my roommate does. So luckily my roommate, she slept in past my alarm obviously, and she woke up when our phone alarm went off, like the phones that are already in the hotel rooms. So I woke up a little bit before my alarm went off, and then I stayed in bed a few minutes after my alarm was supposed to go off. And that's when I got up from bed, went to take a shower and get ready. And like a little bit after I was done getting ready and I was like brushing my teeth and all that, the alarm went off at 4, around 4 I believe. And that's when I was like getting my stuff together, putting it in my backpack and all that, make sure I have everything ready. So when I was done getting ready and was done packing and all that, I went downstairs and I didn't know we're supposed to come down with our roommate. So when I went down there, this lady, she told me that we're supposed to be with our roommate and be in line with our roommate, and I didn't know that. So I went to the elevator and I waited, but luckily my roommate was in the elevator that was already coming down. So I walked with her and we got in line to check in with the lady, and you're supposed to show your ID and give her your name and your room number, and then you give drop off your key card in this little basket, and you're supposed to be seated at any table. I don't think you don't have to be seated with your roommate after that. You're allowed to sit at any given table that is available to you. So we waited a few more minutes until everyone was checked in, and that's when the lady told us that we were allowed to, if anyone that drove here were allowed to leave earlier if they wanted to. So the people that wanted to leave earlier got up and checked in with the lady and they left, but everyone else, we sat down at the table and we waited for a few more minutes until we were able to be dismissed to have breakfast. Not everyone got up, we all got dismissed by table. So I was like the second to last table to be dismissed. I don't remember, but after we got breakfast, I got eggs, scrambled eggs with potatoes and banana. They also were serving coffee, water, and orange juice. I wasn't allowed to have coffee because that's what my recruiter told me not to have, was coffee because the caffeine and all that. So I didn't have that. I just had orange juice, I think. And after breakfast, we continued waiting around. I was on my phone the whole entire time, and that's when we were allowed to get up from our tables to go to the shuttle or to the bus that was waiting for us outside. This was like around 5 already, or almost 5. I don't remember, to be honest, but it was the ladies first and then males were last. So the lady didn't really give everyone, like, except for the first girls that was in front of me, the instructions were to sit and were not to sit. So I thought she was gonna repeat the instructions, but really she didn't. And I was standing there being fooled, and she was just looking at me like, okay, what are you waiting for? So I was like, okay. But luckily I overheard her saying like we're not to sit and all that. So when I was being dismissed, the girls that was in front of me in line didn't know where to go, and they asked me, where are we going? I was like, I don't know. So we asked the front person at the front where we're supposed to go, and he was like, I don't know. But we eventually knew where we were going, and it was just literally just went out the front door and got into the bus. So you're supposed to be sitting the second seat behind the first seat on the bus. So like, say this is the front seat and this is like the second seat, you're supposed to sit on the second seat. You're not supposed to be sitting on the first seat. So, and then it falls back from there. I was sitting alone at first, but then this girl, I think she was sitting alone as well. I don't remember. And she like came in and like said she was gonna sit by me out, and I don't remember if I said anything, but she sat next to me, and then we drove to Meps after everyone got on the bus. And once we got to Meps, the guys that was working there, he got into the bus, explained to us about what's going on and all that, and if we were leaving to BMT, going to this line, if you're here for like ASVAB or physical is going on the other line. So I was doing the full physical, so I went to the other line, and once everyone was out of the bus, they gave us a rundown what's gonna happen and all that, and he asked who was doing the full physical, so we all had to step forward when he asked that. And once everyone was like stepped forward for those that was taking full physical, we were all put into a secondary line next to the line of people that was there at Meps for a different reason. And then we continued staying outside. It was like pretty cold because it was pretty early in the morning. So luckily I had a jacket on, but you're supposed to be taking off that jacket once you got into the building. So I mean, the building was pretty warm anyway, so I didn't need it. But once we all got sorted out, he told us the rundown of everything. I don't remember exactly what he was saying, to be honest, because it was a while back, so I don't have good memory of anything that happened that day. But we all got lined up in front of the entrance of the Meps building, and that's when one of the security guys came out, told us what to do and all that, and if we had any questions to ask. And they said it was okay to have nail clippers or whatever, so if you guys bring nail clippers, you're okay with that. But when it was my turn, you're supposed to have your ID out, And so you can show that to them and all that. I had my socials in my pocket because I don't necessarily remember it all. Even though you should remember your social security, because that's very important to remember. But I had that in my pocket, so it was my turn to like go through the detector and all that. I was a bit tired, so I was kind of doing what I'm not supposed to do. Because he told me to put my bag in the conveyor belt, and I thought we had to take out electronics and put it in a container, but we didn't have to, so I got a little in trouble for not doing what he didn't tell me to do. So I put my bag on a conveyor belt. I put the stuff in a container that may affect for whatever reason. Keep in mind, I didn't mention this before, but one of my glasses, the side piece right here, it broke off that night before, so it kept falling off, and it sucked the whole entire time because I didn't ask anyone if they had tape so I could tape it on. So I had to deal with it being constantly broken off, and it was a pain. I tell you, it was a pain. So once we got through, we got our stuff. You're supposed to put your stuff in one of the storage rooms where you're supposed that's locked, so no one can get in there even if they wanted to, because the front person, they're in charge of who's what you're allowed to go in there or when you're not allowed to go in there. So it's locked at all times unless you're given permission to actually get your stuff. So I put my bag in the same spot I did in day one. And then we all got lined up. We used hand sanitizer because that's what they wanted us to do. And obviously it may differ. We didn't have to wear our masks. I think I took mine off eventually, or I don't remember, to be honest. But once that front person at the desk tells us where to go, so you're supposed to show your ID to them and they'll tell you where to go. So like you're supposed to go to your Air Force office, Army office, whatever office, to whatever branch you're going to. So obviously I went to the Air Force office, which was like down straight, and that's when they give you your name tag, and it has like 4 boxes, I believe. And then they will redirect you to go to the front, and you're supposed to be waiting in line again. It's a different line, not the same line where you're supposed to check in with that front person, but the same guy that got onto the bus told us where to go, like which room we're supposed to go to based on the name, because they look at your name tag for like where you're supposed to go and all that. So I got redirected into a briefing room, and that's where they also take your blood pressure. I believe that's what it is. I'm pretty sure it is your blood pressure. With so I was the first one there, and I got my blood pressure taken. I didn't feel it, but I was having a hard time trying to like keep my heart rate down because it was pretty up there. I was that nervous for that day that the guy, he was like pretty nice about it, but like in a almost in a mean way. But he's an overall nice guy. It's just the way he was sounding seemed like, but you could tell he was caring that he didn't want me to fail. So he told me to like try to calm down, take deep breaths, and all that. So I eventually passed, like barely passed it. So after that, he'll ask you like some questions like hair color, eye color, and all that. So making sure like that's you. After that, they'll give you a piece of paper of like the rundown of what's gonna happen for the physical part. So, and you're supposed to read it. So I sat down, read it, waited for a little bit until a lady came in to redirect us to where me and this other girl was going. So I went to the hearing test first, and then went to division, which I nearly failed. But after that, we after division, I didn't know I knew where I was supposed to go. I was go back into the briefing room again, but some reason my head got all wonky, so the layout seemed different just going back to the briefing room, even though I knew it was that room I was supposed to go to. But I went back and I was looking around, and this guy knew, because there was like another desk area for these employees to be at and all that. This guy knew that I was lost, and by that time my side piece fell off again. It fell off like multiple times that day. Oh my god. So I went to pick it up. He told me where I was supposed to go, like it's just down that hall to your left. And I said thank you. And this lady behind me, when I was picking up my glasses, like the side piece of my glasses, she told me what I was doing. I didn't answer her, but the guy already knew like I was lost. So I said thank you, went on my way to the briefing room, and we waited there for like if not a long time, but quite a long time, because we had to wait until everyone was done with like hearing and vision test. So we continued waiting around. I honestly don't remember what time it was. It was probably like around 7 or 8 in the morning. So day 2 is just a lot of waiting around and a lot of moving around, but majority of the time is like waiting around. But luckily there was a new system out that time, so it made the process a little bit more faster. So we continue waiting around, and that's when we had like a medical briefing of what's gonna be happening for both male and females for the full physical. She was supposed to show us a presentation, but her computer wasn't connecting to the projector, so she had to give us like a summary of an old binder of the whole process theme, but still the same thing either way. And so she went to different groups, because one side's supposed to be males, the other side's supposed to be females, but it was just me and this other girl in there. So she came to us, told us what's gonna be happening during the physical part, and then she went to the guys part, and then we continued waiting around until one of the military people, or one of the officers, he came in and gave us a briefing about the whole idea of the military and what is not allowed, like, and all that. So after he was done talking, that's when the other lady that gave us the medical briefing. She was going to take us a breathalyzer test. So do not be drinking the day before Meps or any day before you go to Meps, because you're gonna fail that test. But you take your breathalyzer, it's supposed to be 0, obviously, and you're supposed to take your mouthpiece off and throw it away and put on hand sanitizer, and that's when you need to line up behind this blue tape in front of these people that are sitting at a desk. And that's when they'll tell you like where you need to go next based on how many highlights you have off. So each testing you do, so like say you finish your hearing and vision test, you're supposed to have 2 different colored highlights on your name tag, and from there they'll tell you where you need to go to what you need to have done. So I was sitting down because I needed to get my blood drawn, and then we just continued waiting around a while until everyone else got theirs done. I got mine done. For me, it was a little bit hard to get my vein popping out from right here, so I had to hold a squeeze ball to get it showing, and that's when like they poke a needle in you and then they start drawing blood out, and they give you a piece of paper to initial to make sure like this is you initial it, and she also told me that if I was feeling dizzy or lightheaded, just make sure like you tell one of the people around you that you're gonna be like sitting down for a little bit. But luckily I was already seated down right after I got my blood drawn, because I need to go use the bathroom real bad, because I was holding it in the whole time that one lady was giving a briefing of the medical, and that the officer was giving us a briefing about the whole military thing. So the whole time I was holding in my pee, and so luckily one of the ladies, she asked me if I need to go use the bathroom. I was like, yes ma'am. So me and this other girl, she had to go too, so we were sitting down, and then we had this tape and like a cotton pad around where we got our blood drawn. We had that on the whole time, and it was slightly bruised. Like it was pretty big, but I mean it wasn't that bad. After that we got our urinalysis test. The lady was watching us the whole entire time to make sure we were peeing in our own cups. And you're supposed to have it filled to like a certain amount. If you overfill it, you just dump a little bit, not too much. But after that, you're supposed to put your cup and put at a window. So you're supposed to keep watch on your cup the whole time, make sure like there's no funny business going on. And the people behind that window area will do your pregnancy test for like females pregnancy test, and then they do like a timer of how long it will show up. And after that, so the guy told us that we're good to go, just wash your hands and then do your highlight, and that's what we did. And then from there, another lady told us to get our height and weight done. So we followed her to another room, and we got our height and weight done. From there, we got like a little metal tray for our stuff when we do a physical, And me and this girl, we were just like sitting down to chat until it was our turn to go. And I'd say it was like a little bit embarrassing when I went, because I wasn't used to having someone looking at me down there. So I was like a bit nervous, but it went by pretty quickly. You just gotta not think about it. It wasn't that bad, you know, they're not touching you down there or anything like that. And you're supposed to have your female doctor, so you're assigned same gender doctor, not a different doctor, a different gender doctor. So but before all that, she will ask you like basic questions, and then not basic questions, what the heck, I guess she will ask some, or will go over your medical records, see if you have anything going on, if you had been prescribed with anything. Luckily, I wasn't prescribed anything, so she had me go in under my undergarments and do some exercises, making sure that all my joints are working, they're supposed to be working, and all that. After that, that's when she told me to like strip down naked. See, she was waiting outside, and then she came in. We were wearing our like medical gown, and those paper gowns you wear at like hospitals or whatever. So I wore that, and she did like a rundown of everything. It wasn't that bad, to be honest. She also did some like eye check thing where you're like supposed to look at this one scene at a wall and keep staring at it until she tells you like to move your eye or whatever. She also checked your ears to make sure they're supposed to be working the way they're supposed to be working, like popping your eardrums, not popping them, but like popping your ears to see like they're reacting well. One of them popped the same time this side popped, my left side popped. So she was able to tell when she checked this one, but she like noticed that I was reacting. It's just, it popped ready. So after that, she'll ask you some medical questions, if you have any, if she had any, but I think that's it. But from there, you'll be dismissed, and you'll just be waiting until someone checks off that you passed and all that. So I had a lady check if I passed, and so I passed, obviously. And then she was like, go to the front, and by this time it was already like midday. So you go to the front, the guy at the front will check you in and tell you where to go. So I went to the Air Force office again, and that's when they gave me a piece of paper to like fill out. It was like a questionnaire type of thing. So I was filling that out while I was having lunch. It was like a sandwich with some chips and water or whatever. I don't remember, or no drinks, but you're able to buy a drink if you had money on you. But I filled it out, and then after I was done with my lunch, I went back to the office, the Air Force office again, and give them the paper. They gave me another paper to fill out, I think. And that's when one of the Air Force guys asked if I did my lift weight yet. That because the Air Force, there's a requirement to see how much you could lift. And since I was pretty short, it was more of a power lift. So if you don't know what powerlifting is, It's where you like you hold a bar like this, a barbell or whatever, and then you like twist your wrists, and like you're supposed to be in the squat position by this point, and then you push up when you stand up. So I did that a few more times, and I had like around 80 pounds, and the max was 70, I think. I don't remember, but it went by increments to see how much you could lift. So because some jobs require you to have a certain amount of weight you were supposed to lift to get that job. So luckily I did that pretty easy. He asked if I want to do 100 next, and I was like, no, I think I'm good, because 80 pounds was a little bit tough to push up there for me, but everything else was pretty easy, to be honest. After that, I got rejected to go back to the fronts because I was done filling out the paper, because at this point that's when you're going to like stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 1 is where you're getting interviewed by someone, like making sure like you haven't done anything and all that. They're making like, they ask you what's your address, if you remember it, what's your mom's phone number, what's your phone number, and all that jazz. And then that's when she asks you like how many years you want to sign up for, and that's when I went to get my fingerprints done, because they do a fingerprint scanner on you and all that, and I got a little bit scared, but I mean, just making sure like, you know, you didn't do anything or all that. So got my fingerprints done. It was a little bit hard because my hands are pretty small, so this guy was having a hard time trying to get my fingerprint all the way, because they're supposed to like move it so it shows your whole fingerprint. So we kept retrying like multiple times. But after that, you go back to the Air Force office again. They tell you where to go. So by this point, you're supposed to go to stage 2. And that's when they ask you like questions, I think. No, stage 2 is where you're waiting to do an oath, I think. And after you're swearing, you're supposed to sign another contract by the officer that did your oath with. And then you go to your Air Force office again. They ask you if you got interviewed. I thought I got interviewed, but apparently I wasn't, and that's when they go through like the questions that you went with your recruiter, so to make sure like it matched up and all that. And from there, you're basically done. So it wasn't like a bad process, but it was just terribly long because you're tired, you woke up early, and it's just a lot of waiting around. So it just seems like it's taking forever, but it was pretty fast paced and all that. It could be different for you, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, my experience wasn't that bad, you know. It was pretty alright. It wasn't great or all that, but other than that, that's how it went. I don't know if I want to do my last experience at Meps before I ship out or not, but yeah. if you guys enjoyed the video, if I found it helpful, please leave a like. Comment down below if you have any questions. If you want to, feel free to subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right.